Dear students, today we will discuss about very important concept known as security. So you might have heard about this concept, the security concept, but we will discuss today in today's module it in a little bit more depth, that what is actually the security, why it is important in the sense of computer science, especially when all of the information is made available digitally. So for example, from home you can access your bank account, you can have your username, your password, and if that password is stolen by someone else, so you might think that what can happen to your account. And similarly, there are different other areas. So this is one of the most important concept and research area in today's world, that we need to make software and the networks and the devices secure as much as possible. So the computer security, also known as cyber security or IT security sometimes, is the protection of information system, whatever the software you are using in the organization, from theft or damage to the hardware, the software, and the information which is available in your software or in any digital form. So security areas can be divided broadly into these aspects: confidentiality, integrity, availability, and authentication. So let's discuss them one by one. So confidentiality means that only authorized users can access the data, resources, and information. Authentication. So this means that other information which is not designed or which doesn't belong to a particular user should not be shown to that user. For example, when you log into an email server, so if that email server is not secure, and if that email server, when you logged in, gives you the inbox of some of your friend or some of other person, so this means that confidentiality has been compromised. Then there is another thing known as integration or integrity. So only authorized users should be able to modify the data when needed. So other users who are not authorized, they should not be allowed to edit information or modify information. So for example, different people have access to the information and they are using that information. However, some of the people have only the role of modifying some of the things. So for example, if you have formed a group on WhatsApp, so there is an administrator who can modify the things within that group. So all users are not allowed to add new users, to modify their details and different other related things. Then the availability. That means data should be available to users whenever the data is needed. And then the authentication means, are you really communicating with whom you think you are communicating with? So in physical world, in real world, you already know that if you are communicating with someone in front of you, so that person is the actual person you might know. So in digital form, it could be someone else. So for example, if you are having a voice chat with your friend, so some stranger can make a voice of your friend and can communicate with you. And if it is not the voice messages, if it is only the text messages, then it is not a problem. So such kind of thing is normally called identity theft. So your identity can be stolen and that identity can be used to communicate with others. So you might have listened some of the things in the media or in the news that some user, for example, X user, has not communicated anything wrong with his or her login on the, for example, social media like Facebook. However, the identity of that person was stolen, and that person was making some very bad news or publishing some of the very bad news to other community. And that is kind of, if that happens, this means that there is no authentication. So the other person is not actually the person with whom you are communicating. So why it's important? It prevents data theft such as bank accounts, as we have discussed, numbers, credit card information, passwords, work-related documents or sheets, and data present in a computer can also be misused by unauthorized intrusions. And then there could be malicious intents can also be a factor in computer security. So intruders often use your computer for attacking other computers. So they get access of your computer, and then they are making some bad things with rest of the users, and rest of the users are thinking that this has been done by yourself. So there is another concept in computer security known as firewall. So this is basically something that prevents or that protects you to some extent for the security. So a firewall is a security conscious piece of hardware or software that sits between the internet and your network with a single-minded task, and the task is preventing them from getting to us. So this means that no one else is able to come into your area. So let's summarize today's module. We have learned about security. We have learned its different aspects like confidentiality, integrity, availability, authentication, and then we have a little bit discussed about firewalls that can protect you and that can provide support to fight with the security related issues.